Good morning, FlossTube. I'm having a very rough video recording day. This might be the fourth time I've started this video. The last one was the best, where I accidentally hit the stand and it just whoop, fell right over backwards. And then I was gonna just save it. I was gonna pick it up, but in picking it up, it fell out of the stand, and it was just it's a complete mess. So hopefully it doesn't portend the way the rest of the day is gonna go. I'll get into that in a little bit, but. It's been a very eventful week here. Oh, I'm Jules. Hi, good morning. It is Sunday, April 30th, and it has been a very eventful week here in the Metro Denver area, as you probably have heard, and now I'm going to show you. We had a wonderful little snowstorm. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you guys can pick up a little bit of how much is on the branches of the trees and whatnot. We went out once and knocked the, that was all my plants. We went out once and knocked all the stuff off. Excuse me, the snow stuff off, and that's how much reaccumulated on there. So about 8 inches, we think, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more as far as why that's going to be such a problem today. But it did allow for a lot of great stitchy weather stitching Friday night. And about most of the day on Saturday, I got quite a bit done. Felt like I got quite a bit done. Got quite a bit done this week, and I'll show you here shortly. You can see Mr. Frog that I did hang up here. I went with a little orange frame. I know last video I was showing you guys the larger, I don't know, it's maybe an 8-inch, 10-inch frame, the larger green hoop. And the green hoop was just a little too big. And it ended up, the fabric wasn't quite large enough to fit comfortably in there. It just didn't look good, and there was also just too much fabric around the outside of the design, and it just didn't look good. So I grabbed one of my smaller orange hoops, put it in there. You can't quite see on this video, and I would show you, but the last time I tried to show you in a previous video attempt, I actually dropped everything, and it just, I don't want to risk it. So it looks good, and it's temporarily held up by some floss, because we're still waiting on the other 2 frame projects to come back from Michael's. We were actually at Michael's yesterday to pick up some floss to finish in my massive kitting out and re-kitting out that I did a few weeks back. I ended up shorting myself probably a dozen different colors in the big old world map project, and I was using them from other things. I don't know why. And so I had to go and get some more floss. So while we were there, we stopped by the desk and asked about the framing of my other ones, and I can't remember. I think it's supposed to be done tomorrow, so I felt like, you know, there might be a chance that it might already be done. So we stopped by, and I asked the lady that was working behind the desk, and I just said, you know, I was just checking to see if my projects were ready, and she asked my name, and I gave it, and she walked in the back, and she took a look like on their back wall, and she was like, oh no, they're not done yet. And that doesn't scare me at all. I don't mind if it takes a little bit longer. I just hope that it comes out as good as I had planned for it to. So it should be back this week, and next week we'll probably have a complete reorganization of the wall here, figure out where everything's going to go. But I'd hoped perhaps I might have something new up there, but I'm sorry that I don't. Bees. I'm going to talk about my bees. If you can tell, we're tired. There's been a lot going on with the bees. I'll try and be fairly succinct about this. Tuesday night, we got a call, or Tuesday afternoon, we got a call from where the 4 hives were preliminarily being set up down closer to Colorado Springs on this ranch. Something had got in to the little fenced off area and had basically knocked down all the hives, rolled them over and whatnot. We have a fence around it, and the fence will be electrified eventually. Well, it'll be electrified as of today, but at the time it wasn't electrified. We didn't really have anything in there. We actually think it was his the bulls that he keeps in that pasture. They were actually about 100 yards away from us, staring at us while we went in and kind of tried to assess the damage. So we went down after work, and in the end we just pulled everything up, brought it back home to assess and make sure, because it was really, really cold. It actually snowed that day down there, and it was probably like about 35 degrees when we were down there. And so pulled everything back, repaired what we needed to repair. And so today's Sunday. So yesterday, our bees arrived. We ordered bees from a place on the western slope, Grand Junction, so it's on the other side of the Colorado Mountains. They basically went through their bees over in California, and then they bring them back here, and then we end up ordering so many packages of bees. They come with the queen and roughly about 10,000 bees in each package, and we had ordered 5, one because our one hive of bees died out west of here, but then we're adding 4 more hives, so we got a total of 5. And of course they had to come on the weekend where we got a ton of snow, and it was really cold yesterday, but thankfully we were able to get the bees pretty quickly, get them loaded up, brought them home in the car. They've been in our garage now for about 24 hours. For the most part, the vast majority of them are contained. There are some that are sort of hanging around the outside of the little packages, but we've been feeding them sugar water. We just spray it on them, and so that's the problem with today. So here, after we do the video, in about an hour, we're going to go out to our hive on the west side of Denver, put in our first package of bees, and cross our fingers that the cold and the snow and everything does not affect them too severely. It will be warming up a lot this coming week. By Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's gonna be in the 60s. It's gonna be gorgeous. So we just gotta get them through the next 24 hours. Hopefully this will be good. And then once we get that done, we're gonna come back home, load everything up in the big SUV, and then drive it down to the Springs area to attempt to get back into the area where the other hives that we need to reset up. We're gonna need to re-level everything, and everything that we did a couple of weeks ago, we're gonna have to do again. And the hard part's going to be we just don't know exactly how much snow they got down there. They usually get more than we do. So we're going to go down there and take care of that. Hopefully it won't take more than an hour and a half or so. We just don't want the bees exposed to the cold for very long. But the rancher down there is going to give us a hand with getting in and out. When we tried to get out on Tuesday, we actually kind of got stuck a little bit. But then my husband got out, kind of pushed from the back, and we were able to kind of get out of a spot that we were stuck into. So, but it's gonna be one big huge adventure today. So I'll give you an update about that later on. But yeah, there's about 25,000 bees in the garage right now, and yeah, we're not going in the garage very often. So, all right, let's get back to the cross stitching. So, works in progress. Worked on 4 projects this week. I did do some progress last night. The last thing that I started working on was Apothecary Shop, which we all know I want to do, but I can't seem to actually get very far on it. And so I only got this far. Probably got another 100 stitches or so into it. I just need to focus on it. I love the colors. I mean, can you see the colors? I hope the colors pop out. There's so many cool colors on that I really hope that when it's all said and done, it'll really pop. But that's one of the main reasons why I got that project in the first place, was because of all the colors. Progress on A Good Marriage. Made some good progress this week. So you can see I got like another line done. I finished this line, got started on the next one. So I'm pretty happy with it. I'm definitely over halfway now with the project. If you can see, it comes all the way back here. Still wrinkly, and the hoop marks and everything doesn't look great, but when the time comes and it gets ironed out and everything, it's going to be awesome. Very excited. But I just, again, I work on that a little bit at a time, maybe one day a week that I focus on that one. Yoda got worked on pretty good this week. I just like working on Yoda. It's just easy. There's only like 5 colors. It's just therapeutic when you're dealing with some of these projects that I'm constantly changing colors on. To actually have something where I can stitch for quite a while without having to change the color is pretty cool. So he's coming out a little bit more. I actually need to frog this black section. I have a question for you guys. I don't know if on my TV, and I have a really nice TV, but this is dark green and it comes out black on the if I scoot back, maybe show the, yeah, okay, let me show the light a little bit more. But on my TV, if I watch this back, it comes out black, but it actually is like, I think it's 935, So, but it's coming out nice. You can see the dew, and then the ore is coming in very nicely. Little Yoda's hand is down here, but yeah, I got a frog just a little bit. I got a little confused as to what color I was supposed to be using. I know, and it's kind of embarrassing considering there's only 5 colors in the whole project. But, no big deal. I didn't get very far with that, so. Alright, and then the last one is the big monster project, Old World Map 2 from Golden Kite. I got quite a bit done on the one page that I'm working on. So I'm going to hold the whole thing up. I got to see what I'm doing here. Whoop, beep. There we go. I'm going to have to start pulling it back more. But last time I had mostly finished the yellow part, and then you can see all the blue that I've done this week. So that was good. What slowed me down was just the lack of, when I was missing certain colors. And kind of inexcusable, because this should be the priority project, and I shouldn't necessarily pull to do other projects from this particular stash, but apparently I did. So I went and fixed that by a good trip to Michael's and buying some floss. I still haven't wound them up in their little bobbins yet. I hate doing that. I've mentioned that before. I'm not a fan. Thankfully, I only have like another 8 or so to do, but I need to do that today so I can keep working. So, let's see. Stitchy plans for the week. Basically, and let's talk about Stitch Mania for a second. Stitch Mania basically is going on starting tomorrow, and it is, I think it's 15 starts in 15 days and whatnot, and I can't do that, you know, and I don't even know if I'm going to modify. I don't think I'm going to participate at all, to be honest with you. It's not the kind of challenge that I feel like I can really do. I tend to kind of go by feel in terms of what I feel like today. What do I want to work on? And I don't know if I could really force myself to work on something that I didn't want to. And there are days when I'm just not going to be able to stitch. But I feel like if I have a Stitch Mania, well, not Stitch Mania, but if I have a goal for the week, can I finish this page in this next week? I think that's the goal. I'll try to finish that page, and kind of go from there. Maybe get the top row done on Apothecary Shop. And that might be my biggest goals. And of course, I'm going to end up working on a few other things here and there. But I think that's going to be the goal for this week. I think I really need to focus on, if I'm going to finish or start or whatever, let me start a new page on everything. Hey, maybe I'll just start a new page on everything, which would work for everything but a good marriage. So we'll see. One non-stitchy thing. I just think this is cool. I think you guys would enjoy this. I have a plant. You kind of briefly saw all my plants there. I used to never be able to grow anything, but getting this window set up for the plants has been wonderful, because this is sort of a somewhat southeasterly exposure. It's probably the best sun exposure. A lot of direct but also indirect lighting, and everything has just gone nuts in the last couple years. When my husband and I met, he was a big-time gardener, and I basically got the bug again from him for growing plants. I only had a few at the time, and then a lot of the ones that I have, I got very, very tiny, and I've since grown them out over the last couple years. So I'm pleased that I apparently have a green thumb. But a lot of it is just literally just taking care of them, just paying attention, making sure that they get all their needs. Same as the fish upstairs, as I haven't mentioned today. The fish upstairs have, I lost another Danio, little tiny, they look like little tetras kind of thing. So I lost both of my Danios that I started with, and I may or may not have told you guys, but I actually put our beta in with our community tank, with our other fish, and the Danios were about a third to a half of this, well, probably a third to a fourth of the size of the beta. Now, I cannot prove. There is no evidence. There's no smoking gun. There's no murder weapon that I can find that proves that the beta killed him. But based upon polygraph tests, I think that the beta was involved. The beta has since been put into solitary confinement back into a smaller tank again. I do want to get him a bigger tank. He was mad when he had to go in the smaller tank. He was just buzzing around and whatnot, because he had a lot of room in that big tank, and he swam a lot. But in the interest of preserving the rest of my fish, I moved him. Now, after losing a couple of Danio in a couple of days, the nitrogen cycle in my tank has gone crazy. It has been cloudy for the last week, sort of a white precipitate. I'm testing the water today to kind of see if I'm doing everything correctly. But anyway, the fish that are in there are a lot happier now and doing a lot better. And I will eventually add in a few more, maybe some Danio or something else that will just do a lot better in that tank. So anyway, my little plant. So this is called the Living Stone. And I'm going to cover something up and just show you guys. So it looks like a brain. And I always called it my brain plant. And it's very shallow. Well, you can see how much it cost. What was it? $3.99? And so I bought it at a garden store. It's a very shallow rooted plant. And I almost showed you what happened on the other side. Or I did show you. And that's actually half of the brain. And what happened was, because this thing is so small, I actually water it a lot more frequently than everything else. And I would occasionally hit it because it sits on top of the sink, the windowsill above the sink. And this thing's probably been dumped 4 or 5 times in the last year. And what eventually happened was there was too much damage. Half of the Living Stone plant died. Half my brain died. And then miraculously, I just kept nursing it. I did not think it would survive, but I just kept nursing it. And then another little Living Stone popped out of the back. This is the new one. And this is actually a full one. That's a half, that's a full. When this thing comes out enough and has enough nutrients, there's actually a flower that comes out. Now that's when we go from calling it a brain to a butt plant, and then the flower comes out of the butt plant. But for right now, it's a brain plant, and it is cool. But it's never gonna, this one might get bigger. If I can just prevent myself from dumping it, then we'll be good. But I want to thank you guys again. I got over 100. I got over 200 subscribers now. And when I went over 100, I bought a new project, which of course I haven't started. Someday I'll start. But because I went over 200 subscribers, I bought another project from Cross Stitch Collectibles. And I'm trying to remember. It's called Rainy Day in Boston. And it's got some cool colors in it. And I ordered the actual full package. So I'm going to get a colored picture of what the front is, and I rarely ever get that. I usually just download them. So that's going to be coming hopefully this week, so I'll have it for the next video and show you what it is. And I'm not going to be kitting that up anytime soon. I don't know, it kind of it costs like $12, and so it satisfies my stash craving, so to speak. So I'm trying not to do too much in the form of stash for a while and just work on what I have. But, so there's that, and all I have left to show you is another new t-shirt. I went on Amazon this week, and I think there's somebody on Amazon who's actually making cross-stitch shirts from like a private store and selling them on Amazon, because of the way that I got the receipt and whatnot for them. And I got two shirts. They're both like this blue color, which I love the blue color. It's really pretty, but these were brand new. So like I said, I think somebody's actually making them. So let me see if I can stand up here. Oh yeah, this will work out just fine. So it says, it's okay if you think cross stitch is boring. It's kind of a smart person's hobby anyway. So I thought that was funny. I hope you guys enjoy that. But it is on Amazon, and I will have another t-shirt to show you next week. And at some point I need to stop buying t-shirts, but I needed t-shirts. I don't have very many t-shirts. I kind of worn everything through. So anyway, so I gotta upload this video, and then we gotta start getting ready to go out and put the bees up today, and then hopefully it's a stitchy night. We'll see how tired we are, and then go from there. So you guys have a great stitching rest of your weekend. Happy stitching for this coming week. Happy stitching with your Stitch Mania plans. Whether you have them or not, but I look forward to seeing them on FlossTube, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and happy May 1st tomorrow. Take care.